Hello everyone, I am Ajit Khan, and in this video I am going to continue a tutorial of deploying a Django app on a VPS. So till now we have created a VPS, a droplet on DigitalOcean, and this is the IP of our VPS. Now you need to log in into your terminal of your VPS. I am already logged in. Now we will be following 10 easy steps to deploy our Django app. So we are going to deploy Django app on Apache with mode WSGI and virtual environment. There are certain prerequisites. We need a VPS and Ubuntu installed on it. So we have created in the first part of this tutorial. Now at the very first step, we need to update and upgrade our system, and if we are going to clone the project from the Git, then we need to install Git. So let's go ahead and update our VPS. Now run the upgrade command. Take a few minutes. Okay, so it's over. Now we are going to install Git. Meanwhile the Git installing, the next step is install PIP. You may also use easy install to perform the same task, but I will be using PIP in this tutorial. So first of all, let's install PIP. After installing, we need to upgrade the version of PIP, so we'll be using this command. Okay. Now we are going to install MySQL for the Django app, and we'll be using MySQL as the backend. So we first needs to install MySQL DB for Python. So let's go ahead. The point here to note is I'm installing MySQL outside the virtual environment. So it would be accessible from other app as well. Now we need to install MySQL server. While installing MySQL server, it will ask you to enter the password for the MySQL server. So I am entering root, again root. You may give any password you want to. Okay, so we are done with MySQL. Now we are going to install Apache and will configure it. So the command to install Apache is sudo apt install apache 2. Now we will be using mod WSGI to serve our Python app from Apache server. So for that we need to install mod WSGI. So the command to install it is apt-get install libapache to mod WSGI. So we are done with installing these two. Now we need to restart our Apache server. So we have successfully installed Apache server. Now let's check whether we have installed the Apache correctly or not. So the IP of our VPS is this, and I have registered this IP on no IP. So I am having example.redirectme.net URL to access the same IP I have created. So I can access my VPS with these two. So if I type example.redirectme.net and if I refresh this, okay, now we have the default page of Apache. That means we have successfully installed Apache. We can access the default page by entering the URL also. See, it's working. So we are done with Apache. Let's move ahead. Now we will be setting virtual environment. So basically virtual environment is a tool for creating isolated Python environments. On top of it we have virtual environment wrapper, which is a set of extension that helps in easy management of virtual environment. So we just need to install virtual environment wrapper and virtual environment will get automatically installed. So the command to install virtual environment wrapper is pip install virtual environment wrapper. So we are done with it. Now we need to set the location where our virtual environment will live and the location of the script virtual environment wrapper.sh so that we can access it later. We have a profile name file in our home directory. So we need to edit this file and we need to write these two lines in that. These two lines are going to say that whatever virtual environment we are going to create, that will reside in /var/ww directories. Okay. And the source for accessing virtual environment wrapper is this. So one more thing to note here is the profile file may be named as .bash profile in some other distribution of Linux. So you may check it. So this is our profile file. We are going to create virtual environment in our www directory. You can also set the path for making virtual environment anywhere in the system you want to, but I'm going to basically use www directory because of user permission. Sometimes your app may function improperly because of the user permission. So okay, that's a different thing. I'm not going to discuss that here anymore. So you can simply copy paste this command in that file. Save and exit. Now we have changed this file, so we need to reload it. To reload it, the command is source path file name. Now we are going to create virtual environment for our project. So basically there are two ways for making virtual environment. We can do it with either with system side package or with no side packages. The difference between these two is system side packages by making the virtual environment through system side packages. our app or the virtual environment will be able to access other installation which is installed system wide. And if we use no site packages, then we are not going to we will not be able to use other installed files. For example, I have installed MySQL, so if I use no site packages, then my Django app which is residing inside the virtual environment won't be able to access that MySQL. In that case, I will need to install MySQL separately inside the virtual environment. So I have installed MySQL outside the virtual environment, so I am going to create the virtual environment using system site packages, and the name of my virtual environment will be example env, and the command is mk virtual env, your virtual environment name, and whether you want to make it with system site packages or with no site packages. So let's go ahead. Okay, so we are done making virtual environment. You can just check it, what all virtual environment existing on the system. So just type work on, and you and the virtual environment will get listed. So we have created example env. Okay, so we are done with this. In the next step, we are going to upload the project and we need to install some dependencies. So for the very first thing is we are going to install Django. So we are going to install Django inside the virtual environment. For that we need to enable the virtual environment, and the command to enable it is work on your virtual environment name. So here is example env and enter. You can see example env at the initial of this prompt. That means the virtual environment is being activated. So next thing is we need to install Django. And the command is pip install Django. Okay, we are done with installing Django. Now let's go in the www directory. Another thing is, now we are going to capture all the requirements that we need for our project. So the command is pip freeze and all the content into a text file. Now we need to upload the project. So my project is on the Git, so I'm going to clone the repository from the Git, and the URL is this. And I'm going to clone it inside www directory. Okay, we are done with it. One more thing, the requirements that we have captured in requirements.txt, we need to install these requirements, and the command to install is pip install -r requirements.txt. It is going to install everything that it needs. Now we are done with working inside the virtual environment, so we can deactivate it with the command deactivate, and we are out of it. Next thing we are going to do is we are going to create a virtual host. For that we will be creating a conf file inside the sites available directory, and the complete path is etc apache to sites available, and you can name it like anything you want to. example.conf I have used. So let's go and create this file. Okay, so this is a newly created file. Now we need to copy this content. You can find this content on my blog as well. So the content here says that the server admin email is this, and server name is example.redirectme.net. I have registered the IP of my VPS on a no IP. That's why I am using the complete URL here. If you don't have a URL or domain name, you can simply put your IP here, and the server alias will be accessible through this. And we need to give, as we are using WSGI, so we need to give the path, the place where our WSGI file is residing. So we'll be making WSGI file inside the www directory with the name example.wsgi. Okay. And we are going to given the path of the directory. So let's copy paste this content. Save and exit. Okay, so we have created a virtual host using this file. Now we need to enable this configuration. To enable this, the command is a2 insight example.conf. Okay, now it is saying to activate new configuration we need to run service Apache reload. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we are done with reloading the server. Now we are going to create the WSGI file, the path of which we have given in this configuration file. So we are going to do it inside the www directory. So let's go ahead and create the file. Okay, it is a blank file right now. Now we need to copy paste this content inside that file. Basically, this WSGI file will be saying that the site of the packages that virtual environment is going to use, the version of Python is residing here in this directory, and the directory path for our project is /var/ww and your project name. Next thing is inside your project directory, and there is a file named settings.py. So your project name.settings has to be here. And next thing we are going to say is we have created a virtual environment, so every time when our site is being accessed, that virtual environment has to be activated. So to activate that, we need to give the path of the activation file. So where we have given this path, so let's go ahead and copy paste this content, save and exit. Okay, now we are almost done. All we need to do is to synchronize the database now. So I have named my database as example_db. So we need to create a database named example.db inside in the MySQL, and the same name example_db I have used in my project in the Django app. So let's go ahead and log in into MySQL. It is asking for the password. Kindly enter the password you have given while installing it. Now I'm just copy pasting this command. Now we are going to create the database named example_db. Okay, so it has been created. Now we need to exit. Okay, so now our Django app have the model name and the structure of the database in a file, so we need to synchronize the database. So for that we need to activate our virtual environment. After activating it, we need to go inside the directory where manage.py file is residing. So let's go. Okay, so inside our project directory we have manage.py. So we'll be synchronizing the database using the command python manage.py syncdb. Okay, so it is asking whether we want to make a user admin for our site. So I'll say yes. Now it is asking for the username. I'm saying it is going to be admin. Now email address, you can give any email address you want to. Okay, password, so you can give any password you want to. Again the password. Oops, password didn't match. Okay, so we are done with it. All we need to do is just reload the Apache server. It's a good practice whenever you change or edit anything related to your Apache server, then every time you must restart it. Okay, so we are done with it. Hopefully our VPS should be accessible. So here it is. Now in our settings.py, the URL which I have used is it is going to be the IP slash the name of my is URL is poles, so I'm using IP slash poles. It should start working. Okay, so congratulations, we are done with it. The reason why IP was not getting used because we have said that we are the server name is example.readme.net, so it is not going to access that. So basically it is working now, and to access the admin panel we have example.readme.net/admin. So here is our admin panel. So congratulations, we are done with installing our app. So our app is working fine. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and this helps you to understand how to deploy Django app on a VPS. The same thing can be found on my blog, and the blog is Java forum 09.blogspot.com. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.